Hey everyone, today I'm here with a person from Mason-Gross School of the Arts at Rutgers, so feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Aoife. I'm a rising sophomore at Mason Gross under the digital filmmaking program. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So why Mason-Gross?
Well, it was the cheapest option. Definitely. It was like super close and I didn't have to go too far away from home and I'm kind of needed at home. And like going out of state would have been ridiculously expensive. But like besides that, Mason Gross also seemed like really promising. Like it's a small school, which is like actually really great because you're like in the gigantic Rutgers community, but you also have this tinier, smaller community of people who get you. And it's like you don't always feel like you're just lost in the sea of people. You always have people to support you like all the time. And I thought that was really great. And their program was really great too. Like it's a younger program than most film programs. It's a smaller program than the other ones that I applied to, but like that's like better because it's like we're a family. Everybody knows everybody, and I appreciate that feeling.
How would I know if that is for me?
Well, it's definitely about what kind of space you feel like you could thrive in. Like I've met like other people applying to other film schools who are like they'd like a more competitive space because it feels like it really pushes them. And other people would like a more cooperative space. I personally felt like I enjoyed growing with other people instead of always working against them. And Mason Ghost was just perfect because, like I said, it feels like kind of a little family. Everyone's always helping each other out.
What clubs are there on campus and what would you recommend for Mason-Gross students?
I don't think there are any Mason Ghost specific clubs, at least not that I know of. But like Rutgers is huge. There's like so many clubs. Like last semester, I joined the Core Radio Club. I really enjoyed it. Like I feel like if you're a person who like likes music or like likes art or stuff like that, it would be a nice club. I feel like picking a club is all up to you and your own personal interests, whether those interests relate to like your major or they're just general hobbies.
Overall, how's scheduling work for Mason-Gross students?
Well, for my program, for the film program, we have to meet our advisor, Karina. Like she goes over everything. She like double checks the classes you sign up for, because you always have to take at the very least 2 major specific classes and then 2 liberal arts classes and then like 1 class where you could take literally anything you want. But you have to make sure that you're still taking the right classes to fulfill the right requirements. So you always have to meet with her first. And even certain like liberal arts classes, you have to meet with the dean to make sure that you're taking the right ones to get the right credits for it. And sometimes scheduling can be really hectic because, you know, like I said, there's so many things you have to go over and double check. But like the advisors are always there to help for the most part.
What's the overall community feel like?
The overall Mason Gross community, like I said, really small, really tight-knit for the most part. At least I know in the film program, like I think the freshman class, there's only like 20 of us and we're all like super close with each other. We all, like, especially like when we all first came in, because it's really small, and because of that it's like a tiny little family unit. Like I keep saying this, but it's like I know like the other schools at Rutgers are like huge for the most part, but like Mason Gross is really small, sometimes kind of forgotten, but it's like we have each other, and I like that.
So how are the professors?
I liked all my professors for the most part. Sometimes, you know, kind of annoying sometimes, but the Mason Gross professors, I feel like, I don't know, they're doing their best. I liked all my professors a lot. Really nice people. And they always seemed like they would be there to help you out. Like, especially since film is something that's so like teaching film and like critiquing students. It relies so heavily on critiques. And I don't know, professors never hesitate to help you out with that and tell you what it is that you're doing wrong so you can make it better if you ask them.
How would you recommend networking? I guess since it's such a small community, I guess that's pretty important.
Like I said, you should probably like make use of the fact that the program is so small to connect with the people it is that you know, because you're going to spend 4 years pretty much with the same people, growing with the same people. So friendship is really, really important in the Mason Girls community. Also, like, I know for the filmmaking program, they're always talking about different opportunities you could get. There's like a bulletin board that just like shows different gigs and like different job opportunities. Like they never like hesitate to help students out with that, which is really nice actually. Like every time there's new information about like networking or like where you could get a job or like a gig from, there's always information that can be found and it's always shared with people.
What study tips would you have for students in general?
Never wait till the last minute to study, which is something I did a lot with like my liberal arts classes. It just makes things really hard. Like if you have readings to do, just do them like ahead of time, or maybe even if you can and if you see what's due ahead of time, just like go at it before you have to. I know for like my my film classes, like studying wasn't really important. It was more of like the practical stuff. So like I wasn't like taking exams on things, but I think in general study tips, like always try your best to get all your stuff done ahead of time so you can have less time to like freak out and like and like try to like fit everything in the last minute, because that's always terrible. That never works.
Do you have any portfolio tips for incoming applicants?
I definitely say try to pick your strongest pieces. If you're going with a film, don't rush it. Like you want to put your best foot forward. If you're turning in a film for your like portfolio, don't just like throw something in together last minute. Like sure, maybe that could work, but definitely like put in the work. Like structure everything out. It doesn't have to cost too much. Like you should never have to spend like so much money on like an applicant like film, but definitely try to present your work the best you can. If you're doing like a collection of pieces, pick what you believe reflects your work ethic the best and like your artistic ability the best.
Where would you recommend masongross students dorming?
Well, I definitely say dorm on Cook Doug, or at least on College Ave, because that's closer to classes. Like if you're a visual arts major, like yeah, College Ave or Cook Doug. For freshmen, there's literally like masongross specific dorms, like New Gibbons. It's where all the masongross students, well, most masongross freshmen live. Like if you want like that community experience. I commuted, but like everybody that I know lived there seemed to have a great time. It just seems like pretty convenient, close to all the classes.
How interconnected is masongross overall?
I definitely feel like other majors help each other out a lot if you ask. Like I know a guy who was friends with like a bunch of acting majors, and like he'd always like ask them to act in his films for things, or some people who knew like people who majored in visual arts and would ask them for help in other cases. So yeah, I definitely say masongross is pretty interconnected, especially once you like make the effort to connect with people from other majors. It's definitely going to help you in the long run.
How's the social life there at masongross?
I'd like to say it's okay. It's like pretty general. Sometimes though, it can be kind of hard to have one when you're like working on like all the projects it is that you're swamped with and like editing things for hours. I think it's pretty general. Like it's all up to the workload you have, and you like can accommodate your social life with that.
All right, so we're just gonna have some closing statements here. So go ahead, feel free.
Yeah, I definitely am really enjoying my experience at masongross, and I think if anyone who's watching this is thinking of applying, definitely go for it. Like it's a good school. It's pretty underrated, and yeah, I'm enjoying my time. I think it's lovely. Sometimes it can be kind of stressful because, you know, like art majors are intensive, way more intensive than people give them credit to be. masongross is good, and you know, it's a nice place. Anyone who's coming here would like it. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And as always, don't forget to be awesome.